Well, hello there, guys and gals of YouTube world. How are you doing today? It is Saturday, November the 19th, year 2022. Yep, countdown. And sometimes, if you want to be financially independent, guess what? You got to make some sacrifices, or perhaps you make a big change in your life. And you can become wealthy if you want to do that. Most Americans, or most people watching YouTube, don't watch financial channels. But if you want to be wealthy, you got to make a conscious decision to do that. So, with that being said, I am Maskey Finance. Please feel free to subscribe, comment, and like my videos. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an attorney. But what you need to do, and what I'm going to talk about a little bit today, is sometimes you got to make tough choices in life. Okay? Tough choices. I've heard various YouTubers, Michael Zuber, Millennial Mike, Dion Talks, Lumberjack Landlord, all talk about sacrificing. Some of them buy multifamily units, duplexes, triplexes, and they live in one unit and rent out another unit. They do that to get started in real estate. They may or may not have lived in a single family home before that. Everyone's different with their story. But there are people out there who live in nice single family homes, and they cannot fathom selling their home to buy a duplex or a triplex to save money so they can invest and become wealthy. They'd rather keep plugging away, working their 9 to 5 job day after day, week after week, year after year, etc., 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 until they're old and they either retire and live more poorly, probably, than they did while working, or they die. Okay, that's the nut and bolts of it. All right, so who are you? Are you willing to make changes in your life? Are you willing to do things to make sacrifices? Perhaps. Are you willing to make decisions, conscious decisions, of how you want your destiny to be? Do you want to be in charge of your life? Or do you want to be a sheep and just follow the other sheep who are following some false leader somewhere? Okay? And that's 80%, 90% of this country, I dare say. That's my humble opinion. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to make good decisions for your future or bad decisions? And I've given you examples on my channel. I share stories on my channel. I share experiences. I share thoughts, etc. I tell you about investments I've made. I tell you about mistakes I've made. I tell you about successes I've made. I tell you how I went from 0 rentals to 25 rentals in just under 4 years. And I did it by being a blue collar worker all my life, never making a lot of money. I still did that. Okay. So anyway, I just had a text pop up from one of my viewers. I'll text you back in a minute there. Dividend Dave. Okay. Just saw your text, Dividend Dave. So anyway, tough choices. See, you may look at my life and you may have heard me say, I have a dock, I have a tiki hut, I put that nice fan up there, I don't know if you can see that or not. I got a swimming pool, it's right back, there it is I think. I'm getting my entire pool cage re-screened, that should be next week, Tuesday I think. They're doing that. I got a nice tile roof up there, you can barely see it maybe, concrete tiles. It withstood near Hurricane 5 winds of 140, 150 miles an hour. Minor damage. I had that minor damage repaired. I got some. It's November the 19th. I'm wearing short sleeves. I'm sitting down my dock. I do have sweatpants on because it's a little bit cooler this morning, but it's in the low 70s right now, so I could probably put shorts on, like I wear majority of days here. And I got a nice little house in there. So, but one of the things I've been thinking about and I've discussed on this channel is a hard decision for me, perhaps. Hard decision for you. I may perhaps sell this house. Why would I sell this house? Because I might be able to make a profit on it. I'm looking at it as an investment. I have lived here going on 2 years. I have improved this house. I put this dock in, I put this tiki hut in, I put a privacy fence in. We have put thousands of dollars in yard work and plants and shells, seashells. I got seashells all on one side of my yard. It's real pretty. Um, and so on and so on. We have made this a much nicer house than it was when we bought it. Okay? But at the same time, we didn't do this intentionally, but we rode the market up. Market prices here have gone up. They might pull back a little bit. We did just have a hurricane and whatnot. They might pull back a bit, but I don't think they're going to drop back too far down. And what I'm hearing is they might not drop down at all. They might just climb more slowly. You know, not the skyrocketing 30% a year, but maybe they'll go up 2% a year or something. So anyway, if I sell it, I should make some pocket change. All right, like several $100,000, perhaps. And if I do, I could move somewhere in this country. I could buy a duplex. I could go to Dividend Dave's neighborhood up in North Carolina and buy a duplex maybe and rent one side, live in the other. I could do that and put a down payment, get a mortgage, put a down payment, and have more cash left over to buy more real estate. I could do that. But something I'm thinking about doing, as I have voiced on this channel, is I have thought about moving to the country of Panama. I have studied this. I have researched it. I want to tell you, and I might put a link below. I might not put a link below. I'll see who's still watching this. I'll tell you where you can go if you want to learn more about Panama. You can talk to someone like me. I've lived there. I was there in the Navy, and I've been back to visit 4, 5, 6 times since then for 2, 3 weeks at a time when I go. I've rented cars. I've driven all through Panama City. I've driven up in the interior. All right, I can tell you a little bit about the country from my limited perspective of visiting. But if you want to learn a lot more from a lot more people, all right, check this out. 3 words: Panama Relocation Tours. Panama Relocation Tours. They have a website, PanamaRelocationTours.com. They have a YouTube channel, Panama Relocation Tours. Okay, you can go to their YouTube channel. They don't make videos as frequently as I do, but there's probably 100 videos on that channel, whatever, something, I don't know how many it is. There's interviews with dozens of expats living in the country of Panama, from Panama City to Coronado, Gorgona, Nuevo Gorgona, San Carlos, Chame, Las Tablas, Chitre, Pedasi, Boquete, Chiriquí, David, Cerro Punta, Volcan, and Santa Fe, and more places, El Valle, more places. All right, it's a very diverse country, from a big city to beach communities to mountain towns to cooler areas where a lot of expats live up near Costa Rica, but in Panama. Black sand beaches, white sand beaches, brown sand beaches, all kinds. It's very diverse, 95 degrees to 65 degrees. Okay, it's very diverse. Spanish is the primary language spoken there. But if you watch that YouTube channel, you're not going to learn how to invest, but what you'll learn is perhaps how cheap you can live there, places you can live. Some places cost more. It's not as cheap as it used to be, but you can live a lot better. In one way, it's different than the United States, but you can live better than you can here in a different way. You can definitely live cheaper there than you can live here, okay? But at the same time, if you're not financially independent, you got to have income coming in, and it's harder to work while there, unless you have a job on the internet or something, all right? If you're making a living from YouTube and it's enough money to live on, go there. You can live better, live cheaper, which means you have more money to invest, and you can then have more options, more choices. So what we're thinking about doing, let me stand up here too, give you a different perspective. What we're thinking about doing is perhaps selling this house, moving to that country, renting a place. And I've considered places. I've learned enough about the country. Let's just throw out numbers. Ballpark range: 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, ocean view, $550 a month. $1,500 a month. Nice house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, swimming pool, ocean view, gated community, security 24 hours at the gate. You know, and everything in between. Condos, 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom houses, 3-bedroom houses, in town, out of town, countryside, everything. Okay, if you are considering possibly going to Panama, don't drive in Panama City if you've never been there. It's crazy. All right, even myself, I've driven there from the time I was 20 to just a couple months ago. I may start minimizing my driving in the city because it's just crazy, and streets, it's congested, and you don't want to have an accident. Okay. So, but anyway, if you check out that YouTube channel, check out that website. If you are considering it, here's a strong recommendation for you. All right, if you are considering it, think about going to the website, Panama Relocation Tours. All right, let's go back here a little bit. Panama Relocation Tours. And they have an online guide. You can take group tours, you can take private tours, you can do self-guided tours. They'll help you in all three aspects. To learn about the self-guided tours, though, you need to purchase the Panama Relocation Guide. If you buy a group tour, once you go on the group tour, you get the Panama Relocation Guide. It's an online book, and if it was a printed book, it'd be probably a thick book. All right, and it has anything and everything about living in Panama as an expat. It talks about the various places in the country. It talks about how you get a driver's license, how you get a visa, a residency visa, because you can't just go there and live there. You gotta get a visa. You're not allowed to stay forever. If you're an American, you can stay for 6 months. If you're an American, you go there with a passport and you want to stay for 6 months. By law, you can only drive on your U.S. driver's license for 90 days. So you might not want to stay for 6 months because you can't drive around. But taxis and Ubers and buses are cheap, so you can always get around. All right. But in that guide, they give you lawyer names and phone numbers and email addresses if you do want to move there. Lawyers, they recommend that they vetted with the prices of what it costs for the visa. And on and on and on and on and on. So much information. You know, how to get your cell phone, how to buy a car, how to rent a car, on and on. Anything I believe that you might need to know to move to a foreign country, they tell you. And then you have access to join their Facebook page, where then you can make contacts. I've made more contacts, okay, because I bought the guide. I got a spouse who's from that country. I've lived in that country. I bought the guide, and I am learning a tremendous amount of information about all aspects of it. The guide will cost you, it could change at any time, so I'll just throw the number out, $595. Lifetime access, as long as the website's up, I guess. There's ways to get discounts. If you go on a group tour, you get it for free. If you want to take a private tour, the private guides, bios, and pictures and whatnot are in that online guide. So if you buy that guide, you find out who the private tour guides are, and they have them for Panama City and I think every community I mentioned, they have guides for. You can hire them for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A couple $100 a day. They're going to treat you to lunch. They're going to pick you up. They're going to drop you off. They're going to drive you around. They might show you various communities. They might show you rental properties, mark neighborhoods, pharmacies, grocery stores, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They'll show you the area that you potentially want to live in, that you're thinking about. Okay, so it's invaluable. If you're someone in the United States or Canada and you've been thinking, do you want to go live in Spain or Portugal, or go live in the United States in a different place, or go live in, Costa Rica or somewhere else, Chile, South America, Brazil, somewhere else. And you dig around the internet, you find a lot of unicorns and rainbows about any of these countries. But as of yet, I have not found something like this. I've not paid any other website about any other country, but I'm giving them a free plug. I'm not endorsed by them. If you get this Panama Relocation Guide, even if you never take a tour, if you've never been there, go take a tour. All right. But if you get this guide, you're going to find out anything and everything that you could possibly know about going to live in a foreign country and becoming a resident. But with that being said, and a lot of you will have clicked out by now, but with that being said, this is Mazske's plan. Mazske may do that. Mazske already bought the guide. Mazske may move there. Mazske plans to rent there. And by renting there, it should be a lot cheaper than I live here. And if I live there for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, I should be able to save a lot more income. And I should be able to build my wealth even more. And after, say, let's just throw out 2 years. After 2 years, I'm sure we'll make a decision before then. But I can decide, do I want to stay there more years? Do I want to stay 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Or do I want to come back to the United States? Or do I want to go somewhere else? We'll see. I probably won't go somewhere else. He'll be getting too old to keep bouncing around the world in different countries, but you never know. You never know. You never know. Maybe I'll be a vagabond for a while. So, what do you think? So, if my house goes on the market, you want to buy it? All right. I'm looking to make a profit if I sell it, but it's not going to be jacked up in price. You'll get a tea hut. Let me show you that fan again. It's a nice fan when it's hot out. You know, get a breeze going. You'll get a swimming pool. You'll get a tile roof. You'll get a house that can withstand 150-ish mile winds. You're in a nice neighborhood. It's convenient to. It has a Gulf access canal. You can get a boat and get out to the Gulf of Mexico and get out to the ocean if you so desire. Close to a grocery store, restaurants, pharmacies, Walmart, everything. It's not on the market yet, but if you're interested, shoot me an email. My email is always in the description. All right. This video's gotten long, so I'm going to wrap this up. It's beautiful out here, though. It's comfortable. I like standing down here. I sit down this dock almost every night and during the daytime. All right, y'all take care. Stay safe in all you do. Maskies signing out.